Hello and welcome to Indian Masterminds. My name is Bhakti Kothari, and today I'm here with another special guest. He's one of those rare aspirants who were able to successfully crack UPSC exams not once, not twice or thrice, but five different times. An IES, IFS, IRTS, and now an IAS officer. He's currently under training at LBSNAA Mussoorie and is all set to become an A grade officer after achieving an All India rank of 97 in UPSC CSE 2021. So please welcome Mr. Shubham Bhaisare, who is with us today to talk about the numerous feathers in his cap, his preparation, journey, and much more. Welcome, Mr. Shubham.
Thank you, Bhakti, for such nice introduction. I'm actually very humbled and honored.
Thank you so much, sir. So before we get into the main aspect of our interview today, please tell us something about your childhood days and your early education.
My birth happened in the Gadchiroli district, which is a Naxal-affected area, which is in the easternmost part of Maharashtra. But I feel I'm very privileged, born the son of a district judge. So every 3 years we used to get transfer, and thankfully, by God's grace, I got a very decent education. And when I compared to my counterparts, my cousins, I really felt myself very privileged. So overall, it has been a very decent experience in terms of education. The only struggle I had is like every 2 3 years we change the city and completely new friends, completely new lifestyle, food habits, everything. That is something actually I admire, and it took me. It is a lot of interest for me because life, like on a blink, it just changes. Everything changes. That was a wonderful thing that I felt in my childhood.
Lovely, sir. And now, please tell us that you have cracked not only UPSC CSE, but also several other competitive examinations. So, can you please give us an insight into all the exams that you've cracked over time?
Yeah, the journey started after in the final year of this engineering in civil engineering. It was in 2016. I first cracked the GATE exam,
Yeah.
which is for the masters and getting admission in the PSU. I got around 900 rank, 917, and through that I got admission in various IITs, which included IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, and even the prestigious Indian Institute of Sciences Bangalore, ISC Bangalore. But I then decided to go for IIT Delhi because I got the preferred branch, that is Geotech. And after that, I again gave the GATE exam. I got All India rank 57, through which I got into various PSUs like the IOCL, HPCL, and NHAI. And after that, I started my journey in the UPSC. So first attempt was to 2017 engineering services, which I cleared in the first attempt, and I was allotted Central Public Work Department. And after that, I started my civil services journey. So in civil services, I gave 4 attempts, and 3 times I cleared the exam. One time I couldn't, I just missed by 1 mark. And at the same time in 2020, I gave forest services exam also, which I thankfully, with my God's grace, I cleared it.
Yeah. And so, amongst all of this, when did you realize that your actual calling lies in becoming an IAS officer?
I can recall, I think it was in ninth standard when I was in Solapur, Maharashtra. One day I was going to go out and play with my friends, and suddenly an old lady came. I think she was around 70, 75 years, very old. All the wrinkles were there, exhausted, and she knocked our gate. And I went there and I asked her, what happened? Why are you here? She, with a bag full of vegetables, she said that it is for your father. I just picked it up today only from my farm. I have a small farm, and she felt very gratitude towards my father. So I told her that my father, we don't accept any such gifts. Please go away. But thank you for this gesture. She said, no, 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 no. It is for the thing that there was a case pending. There was a legal matter in which she was a single lady. All her relatives were against her. They were trying to grab her land.
Hmm.
So she felt helpless. Uh, that she doesn't have any legal background, she doesn't have financial background, she doesn't have husband, son, but she had faith that yes, the judiciary will give her justice. So for my father, it was like one sign, one order. He sometimes I just sometimes discuss with him. He don't remember because it's one of the many cases that he gave justice. But for her, it was a life changing thing.
Yeah.
That gesture only says. So I felt that no matter I might go to US, buy Lamborghini and something like that, but still the satisfaction that I will get here by working for the people, making changes in the lives of the people in the society, that gives me so much satisfaction that is unparalleled. So that's it was decided that I want to go into the government services.
Lovely, sir. Honestly, lovely. You told me this story before also, and I am pretty
Yeah.
sure it's inspired a lot of people since then. So now coming to your preparation, you chose civil engineering as your optional subject. So how did it help you through your preparation, and were there any challenges that you had to face because of it? Because it's a very tough subject on its own. So please tell us something about it.
Yes, civil engineering I took because it was a graduation subject, and in third standard I had decided that I'll be preparing for government services, and as I'll be taking this subject, I should do it very sincerely.
Hmm.
So I started my journey itself from GATE, which helps us preparing in civil engineering, then the engineering services. So I was pretty confident that if not an engineering services who has cleared the engineering services will not take civil engineering, then who will? So that is why it's like I should take it civil engineering. I should take this as a task and as a challenge and get good score. I had analyzed the previous year's toppers also who had secured good ranks in civil engineering. So I had faith in myself that yes, if I put sufficient amount of energy, it will be rewarding. And about the preparation, it's definitely, as you say, it's very long. We generally by humor say that entire GS is equivalent to entire civil engineering. It's so huge. But when you start preparation for some competitive examination, especially like which is based on civil engineering, like GATE or engineering services, it automatically prepares that subject. And also, one advantage of civil engineering is there is certainty in this.
Yeah.
Like, if you have solved certain amount of questions, then you are pretty sure that you should land average or above average. If your accuracy is very good, then definitely among toppers. So it is very rewarding subject, but it's a double-edged sword. Like, it's very huge. It takes a lot of amount of time, but if your accuracy is good, then you are among the top 100 or top 100. That's for sure.
Lovely, sir. So now moving forward, please tell us what were the strategies and methods did you adopt while preparing for CSE?
I will divide it into two parts, like the prelims and the mains. Prelims, I would say that actually prelims requires very wide knowledge
True.
and not much depth, whereas in mains the width is less and the depth is higher. So when it comes to the preparation strategy for prelims, I used to read newspaper daily. That's for sure, and if possible, two newspaper. But I generally recommend that one newspaper is sufficient. And after that, I used to read some current affair magazines, the daily current affair magazines from any institute, be it IAS Baba, be it Vision, anyone will work. And after that, for prelims, you revise the static portion. I feel the static portion, like the history, geography, which will not change, which is not the current affair, carries the maximum weightage because current affair is like दुनिया में कुछ भी है कुछ भी पूछा जा सकता है but static portion is static. So I generally recommend everybody to give huge importance to static, and I personally used to give like 60-70% of my energy on the static portion. I used to ensure that out of 10 questions 7 should be right, and that helped me sail through. So after my newspaper, I jumped to the static portion like history, geography, and I used to give 2-3 days for one subject and one test.
Hmm.
So I always kept myself rechecking, re-evaluating, and in the exam mode. the preparation mode. Yes, this is completed, this was the task, and you have to give the test to reevaluate yourself. And for mains also, generally my idea was that you have to have the monthly schedule, weekly schedule, and daily schedule. And these are the tasks. And I used to, in fact, overburden myself with lot of tests. So every week I used to give at least two papers, and sometimes even in one day I used to give two or three papers. Generally, the exam is like you have to write two papers, but once you are in the mode of writing three papers, then you feel like two papers are easy.
Yeah.
So, so I used to put a lot of energy into the tests and daily schedule.
Wonderful, sir. So, like general studies are one of the most important part of not just the prelims but also the mains examination. So, can you tell us a little about your preparation for the same?
General studies, we generally feel that it's like ocean.
Hmm.
Everything is there, but it's actually not. The most important thing here is the syllabus. Syllabus helps you tell what to read and what not to read. So मैं जो करता था कि मेरे टेबल के सामने पूरा सिलेबस चिपका हुआ
Acha.
है एंड फिर से देखने के बाद यू स्टार्ट रिमेम्बरिंग द एरियाज आल्सो कि अच्छा दिस इज द थिंग दिस इज द थिंग दिस इज द थिंग. And one important thing should be linked with the syllabus is the previous year questions. कि
Hmm.
previous year questions में कौन से areas से question आए हुए हैं. You have to give those areas more importance. For example, in ancient India, Buddhism gives a lot of weightage. Buddhism में question आते ही है. So I will give more energy on that. So so overall study के साथ the specific study is important. So this is for like ancient. वैसे ही हिस्ट्री के लिए में after 1920 the developments जो हुए that are the most important. Similarly for environment and other subjects. So targeted focus, targeted this study is the thing I feel most important, and I had discussed with a lot of people from which 50-60% questions come. So I used to do that first. And apart from that, GS 123 is covered when you start preparing for prelims. But the approach that is required is bit different for mains. So for mains, there are long answers like you have to write the introduction, body, conclusion, way ahead, government initiative. So for that also syllabus is most important. So whenever there is a topic like in GST, there is food processing. See, go through the internet, it's ready, you don't have to run behind more notes. It's just like one syllabus point is done, then very few value addition happens. So once the entire syllabus notes are made, the mains portion is done.
Right.
Just the newspaper clipping and the current affairs, small things are added. That is the only value addition. And apart from that, continuous revisions, I think, is the thing that most aspirant miss it. Like when you are competing with the people who are already in sciences, you can expect like they are always giving the exam for kind of service change, whatever the aspirations are. So they have already revised the entire syllabus like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. So a new aspirant must understand that 2, 3 revision will not suffice. You have to give respect. You have to give respect to revisions and the competition level. So this is also the thing. Along with the syllabus I think it's very limited and it's doable. It's very easy. But the only thing that we lack is we just run behind the notes of GS making and we miss the syllabus and giving tests. Uh, Revision and giving tests. These two things are the most important.
Definitely. So, I'm pretty sure a lot of aspirants will take down notes from this. So now moving forward, let's come to your interview round, which is kind of the most anticipated round in all of UPSC CSE. So were there any trick questions that you were asked during this interview round, and how did you answer them?
Yeah, there were two, three areas where some trick questions were asked. Like one question was there. If tell me, Shubham, he asked that he said war brings peace in the context of Ukraine crisis.
Yeah.
He said war brings peace. I said, sir, I humbly beg to differ. I think that everybody loses in a war. So he said, okay, please elaborate. So I told him that whenever a country, if it feels that they are winning, but it's a very short-lived victory, short-lived peace. There is vengeance, there is anger, there is economic loss on both the sides. So the war will continue, the territorial expansion and the aspiration will continue. So that is why Abraham Lincoln has also said that force is all conquering, but victories are short-lived. So actually, what doesn't bring peace was the thing. So he was very satisfied with the answer. And such another trick question that he asked was like, if there is some violence which you are anticipating and you are an SP of a district, so what will you do? So I divided into two areas that first there can be, if the violence is not happening, the riot is not happening, then I will try to have conversation with the people, connect with them, understand them, give the idea that what will the repercussion, and if the mob is getting violent, then the second part is I have to use the minimal force to control it so that property destruction does not happen. So he was a bit satisfied. Okay, yeah.
Wonderful, sir. And can you also throw some light on your interview preparation and any strategies if you want to share with people, maybe some important tips?
I believe that when we do the mains preparation, we are just silent and writing, 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 but we do not speak much. But when the interview comes, you have to be very vocal and you have to express yourself in the best possible manner. So one thing I used to do is I used to keep the mirror in front of me and I used to ask a question to myself and answer it myself. So
Hmm.
more and more vocal, more and more speech you use, the more and more confidence, the clarity it gets. So one thing was that use of mirror, and which is very recommended thing, tried and tested thing. At the same time, the most important thing in interview is knowing your background, what you had, what you have learned from the childhood itself, about your district, about your village, about your state. So that area should not be missed, and that is one area which one is not able to answer your area of expertise, where area of profession, then it decreases the marks drastically. So that is one another area which should be strongly, strongly focused upon. And at the same time, I believe that mock interview should be very limited. One or two is fine. And generally, what happens is sometimes the board is very critical at times, so one should not bog down. The
Hmm.
confidence is the one of the most important thing in interview, because one is going to command thousands of people, and one is not confident, then how can one instill confidence and energy in others? So at that critical juncture, 15, 20 days, 1 month, one has to have very, very high confidence level. Be humble, but be confident as well. So these are the three things that one should really focus upon for good interview marks.
Lovely, sir. So now moving forward, as we know, UPSC CSE preparation is tough as it is. It takes months of preparation to finally crack it. But preparing while simultaneously working a full-time job can be extremely difficult. So how did you manage your time in a way that you were able to do justice to both your job and your preparation?
Yeah, that was one real task, because all my four attempts, has been into preparing simultaneously during job. So one thing I had decided, that when I am in home, I will not think of job. When I am in the job, working hours, I will not think about my preparation. So whatever the task, the target that had been given to me, like for a month or for a week, I used to ensure that they are completed 1 2 days before and within the office hours only. And when I am going back home, I used to take a nap during the journey itself, so that when I go to the home, I am fresh and with fresh start, I can do my preparation. So 4 5 hours of time I was able to take out during the weekdays, and on weekends I used to stretch myself as much as possible. And definitely one has to make more sacrifices when one is was in his job. I had to calculate all the leaves that I have, properly, use it, and the visits to my parents. Month after that, I used to go for 3 4 days, and my mother was always angry that you know give so less time. I used to explain her. Definitely, she understand, but there is some resentment. Yes.
Of course.
So there are a lot of things. You have to sacrifice some of social events, friends wedding and everything. But yes, definitely that is part and parcel of life now. Being a civil servant, there is so much responsibility. Perhaps that the journey itself prepares a person for the upcoming things.
True that, sir. And now that you've finally achieved your dream of becoming an IAS officer and you're under training right now, so what are your plans for the future?
One of the area that definitely apart from the normal things, discharging my duty, I would really like to work upon the education sector,
Okay.
because that is where revolution can happen, changes can happen, and it has the potential to transform oneself.
Hmm.
uh, like now recently in the village visit we went to school, and we tasted the midday meal scheme, how they are given. We saw the quality of this um, quality of education, and I was bit not much satisfied actually. So I felt that there is lot of scope in India, and we have such a huge potential, and it has the, yeah, like we have multiple examples from Martin Luther King to Baba Sahib Ambedkar to APJ Abdul Kalam, who have completely transformed not just them, their society, but the entire India, the entire world. So, so for a better future, education is the key.
Right, sir. True. And now, as we conclude our interview for the day, would you like to give a message for the upcoming aspirants?
I would say first thing is aspire very big. Like your aspiration should not be just to clear the civil services, but actually make a visible change in the society. And how it will happen, that you should continuously aspire. Being in the civil services should not be the final aim. Final aim should be like transforming education, transforming health, transforming life of women, something like that. That should be the ultimate aim. And secondly, confidence is very important. After like not being successful in one attempt or two attempt or three attempts, we start comparing our failure in this exam to the entire failure of life. That I'm not good enough. What is this happening? And also, it should not be equated with life. This is just an exam. Have confidence, keep giving it, but don't make it do or die situation for this exam. But definitely you should give your 100%. So, and third thing is like civil services is one area which gives immense responsibility and powers for the change, for bringing development, but at the same time that is not the only area. One can work through, being a media person like you are, for bringing the change in the society. One can become doctor, one can become engineer, chartered accountant, any field, entrepreneurs. So, just pick your area and give as much energy as possible, the laser focus energy, undivided attention for that. Like it is famously said that energy flows where attention goes, you know. So, if you really, really want something in any field, just put lot of complete undivided attention to that, and I'm pretty confident that whatever area you pick, you are going to excel. And civil services, being a media person or anything, is just a path for bringing the change or the final aim that you have. So don't just, for the aspirants, I'm just putting in a positive manner that don't feel bogged down. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. But there are multiple fields also through which we can bring a change. So with this, all the best. And I'm very confident that once you are very passionate about the thing, bringing changes in the society, I think the journey of 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years of the preparation actually becomes easier because we continuously think of how after becoming a person of responsibility we will bring a change. So the pain which we have during the journey becomes like minimalized, and when we see the people, their struggles, like during the COVID we saw the people, migrant people, they're now walking miles and miles and kilometers. We feel that in a comfortable room just reading, it's the pain is actually very less in front
Mhm.
of them.
Thank you so much, sir. I am pretty sure your insights and advices will guide the aspirants and help them in cracking the toughest exam of the nation. And it was lovely speaking with you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, it was my privilege, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. So, this was Mr. Shubham Bhaisare from Maharashtra and his journey to becoming an IAS officer. Hope you liked the conversation. If you wish to watch more such segments, please subscribe to Indian Masterminds as we will be back soon with another hardworking officer.